episode of Buzzbox Live. This is Buzzbox Live episode number 4, and today we're going to be tackling the very complicated, very essential subject of onboarding. Um, what we've noticed through our conversations with a lot of companies, with a lot of key decision makers, is that onboarding is a critical experience in how the employee is able to start working in the company. And so today we'll understand what exactly is onboarding, what are the challenges, and what is the ideal onboarding scenario you want for your company. Who we have here to discuss onboarding with us is a very special person. He is a friend of Beehive. He's an advisor to me personally and has been a tremendous champion of the platform. I'm proud and pleased to welcome Mr. Sandeep Welling for today's episode. Hi, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, hi,
Okay,
hi.
a quick introduction about Sandeep sir. Sandeep sir is the managing partner of Kirtane and Pandit Chartered Accountants. He comes with over 4 decades of experience in accounting, specifically dealing in the BFSI space. And you all know about Kirtane and Pandit. It's one of the top 15 firms in the country, spread across 7 cities with 40 partners and 1,200 employees. And you have Sandeep sir here to chat with us about his thoughts around onboarding, AI, and what it is to actually have employees who get a handheld experience from day one. So that's what we're looking forward to today. Thank you so much, Sandeep sir. Let's start. My first question to you, sir, is what is today's onboarding process and what do you feel is not right with it?
So I won't say what is not right. Uh, there is always a room for improvement.
Got it.
And see, in India, we are a chartered accountant firm, or I would say a talent organization, a service firm. Unfortunately, in India, the services are still not paid that well.
Hmm.
And therefore, you will see that whenever you recruit a person,
Hmm.
there is always a hurry
Hmm.
of engaging him on the job so that he starts generating.
Correct.
No. So, and therefore we always find short of people. You'll have
Hmm.
on one hand, you will have a lot of people asking for job. On another hand, we will not have people to work for us.
Right.
That is because not enough training is imparted to
Hmm.
them.
Hmm.
Although they may be qualified, every organization has its own peculiarity.
Correct.
And and those peculiarities, if not known to the person, he doesn't make that a effective employee
Hmm.
until
Hmm.
he's trained.
Correct.
And therefore, it is absolutely necessary that we have some time for onboarding the person. Onboarding is not always so. We have been onboarding people with subject matter. So we always give the most importance to the subject matter. But
Hmm.
what differentiates between us and the international firms, if you
Hmm.
really look at, is is the is the training.
Hmm.
Is because what happens, they give sufficient time to the training. Number one, they give quite a lot importance to their processes,
Right.
you know, and therefore there is a homogeneity of the service. The quality
Hmm.
of service is recognized by the outsider.
Right.
So, when I took over as a managing partner, I realized that although all my partners are doing a good job,
Mm-hmm.
but they are doing it per their capabilities.
Right.
So you have to have some kind of organizational thread among them so that we are recognized as an organization rather than being recognized through that person alone.
Through that partner's identity.
Alone, because
Hmm.
the organization is a flowing organization. The moment people move out, your credibility moves out. That cannot
Correct.
happen. And
Correct.
therefore, when you onboard a person,
Hmm.
it is in my opinion, quite important for us to give him the A, organizational orientation, B,
Mm-hmm.
the orientation on the processes of the organization.
Correct.
And we realize that, unless we have some kind of a tool,
Hmm.
because even for a person imparting training,
Hmm.
that person also changes from
Correct.
time to time. And
Correct.
therefore, even the training that we give,
Content will
some
change, the
content
impact will
change,
change.
the tone changes, a lot of things change.
Correct.
If you don't want that to happen, there has to be a documented trail of
Hmm.
how training should conduct and what should be, and there has to be a tool. So,
Hmm.
we could benefit through BI because those processes are actually stored in that. The videos are stored in that, and accordingly, we are able to, onboard the person.
On board people. Sandeep sir, it's interesting you say that
So
big
one more thing
firms.
I would like to say here,
Yeah.
we are, I won't say we give enough time for training,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore, there has to be some via media also. So, like first 2 days you give, thereafter, the the entire process is divided into some half an hour
Sessions.
videos
Hmm.
and small exams kinds things. So, the person is expected to complete it within 2 months, 3 months,
Hmm.
so that although he is on the job half an hour, or even out of the office hours, he attempts to those questionnaires, and
Hmm.
he ultimately gets to there or somewhere near where we expect him to be.
Correct. What I realized is when you mentioned that big firms have so much emphasis on process, I remember when I was doing my MBA, I had friends who went into the big consulting companies. They were even taught what angle to staple the printouts at.
Yes,
And that
yes,
itself was expected of every employee of the company that the staple has to be at an angle so that it's best
yes.
for reading.
In fact, even I was part of one of the such large international firm, and when you
Hmm.
punch, you don't
Yes.
you don't put in the paper just like that. You first put a whole guard to it
Oh,
so that the page doesn't tear. So such minute things are also seen by.
by
mm, uh,
clients, by partners, it
yes,
becomes a part of the, I think, firm's identity also.
yes. So whole guard pad was one of the joining kit.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. So Sandeep sir, the question that naturally comes after this is, um, you mentioned a little bit about what is an effective training plan. You said, there has to be some content, there has to be some periodic assessments. They should be able to find it sort of on demand when they want the information, whether it's a process thing or anything. What do you see is the direct or indirect business benefit that a good onboarding process will give?
Oh, tremendous, tremendous. See, because what happens uh, in a organization like ours,
Hmm.
person who faces the client creates or demolishes the
This
impression of the organization. We
perform.
sit in the office, most of the time, or we will sit with the top bosses. But
Hmm.
when you move to ground and with masses, when people recognize you are a acha organization, a good organization, people
Yeah.
who come from this organization behave like this. They ask the apt questions.
Right.
All this is a matter of training
Hmm.
and procedural training.
Hmm.
Subject matter everybody is well of.
Everybody comes in. Yes.
Yeah, because we take qualifieds. So,
Correct.
from that perspective, there is no dearth of knowledge. But what matters is the discipline that they follow.
Hmm.
And that makes or breaks the impression, number one. Number two, it also has a lot of efficiency. Uh,
Hmm.
because if I in our terminology, if I complete the job,
Hmm.
come to office, and then if someone tells him, "Arey, have you not put this into the audit software? This has to for the audit trail you." So he'll start putting the documentation again. He
Yeah.
will take the twice time as much.
on that particular audit.
While on the job, when every time he interacts, he gets the information. Uploading that information is not even matter of 10 seconds because it happens while he is working.
Correct.
So efficiency also matters.
Hmm.
A lot of things. It's like we leave, for us raw material is time. So we leave on the timesheets. So if
Yeah.
timesheets are not filled on time,
Hmm.
things, our chargeabilities, our uh, entire economics goes for a toss. It's like raw material not accounted.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is a direct top line impact.
Yes. So there is a direct top line impact.
Correct. Correct. So what I'm getting from you is one is of course the revenue business impact, which sort of comes from time, because like you said, time is your raw material. The second thing which also stands out is customer experience, and to that end, standardization.
Yes.
Right? Because
Yes.
I know that in firms, a lot of times associates are deployed to client, but then they leave and the new associate comes in. But if they follow the same process, you had spoken to me about
That
this.
is another problem, which is more important, because people change,
Yeah.
and if we don't have the right discipline,
Hmm.
things can go really wrong.
Right.
And therefore, uh, you know, every person who attempts a particular type of a job has to behave in a particular manner. He has to ask the right questions. So all that has to be completely process driven.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it does take time for you to build. If somebody decides it today, it may not happen tomorrow. It's
Hmm.
a process.
Hmm.
For simple, for our organization, Institute recommended one benchmark called AQMM, Audit Quality Maturity Model, wherein lot of things were demanded,
Hmm.
wherein how our audit process are, how our
Hmm.
HR process are, how our IT process are. Let me tell you, we had to engage outside consultant who could help us do that, and it almost took us 3 years.
Wow. To get the whole thing right piece by piece.
Yes, and still we don't say we are fully there.
Hmm. But I mean,
So
that's a constant evolution, I think you will.
that's a constant evolution. Initially, you start only because it's a compliance. And
Hmm.
as you start pursuing it, that becomes a culture.
Hmm. You start seeing
So,
the small benefits.
yes, yes. So, initially, when you start anything like this, it's a pain. It's like you going for a gym after first time or after 10 years.
After years, yes.
Obviously, your body is going to pain.
Pushback.
Yeah. So,
No,
it's
agree.
exactly like that.
No, I think awesome. That is very important. I think one thing that people always expect, I think it's also probably a culture thing, is jhatpat results.
And I mean, I'll tell you, who will do this?
Hmm.
Only those who are passionate about building an institution, building an organization. If I am here just to earn extra bucks, probably such a person will not find value with such processes.
Hmm. You
Or
have to.
rather, I would say anybody who doesn't find the value with such processes is not passionate about what he's doing.
Hmm.
You know,
True.
then it's only about earning few bucks extra.
True. Very true. Uh, we see that when we talk to different types of people, we are able to see,
Yes,
different attempts that especially leaders have to take कि हम ये भी try कर रहे हैं, ये भी try कर रहे हैं, to bring that culture and
yes,
process in
yes.
place.
And personal cult has to be removed. See, again, tools help you removing personal cult.
Hmm.
That is also something which, a welcome situation from the outside customer's perspective.
Right. Right. Nice. Sandeep sir, we are going to close off with maybe one or two questions. What
Yeah,
is the role do you think AI can play in helping you?
that's the buzzword today. Okay.
Everybody says AI is helpful.
Yeah. So, limited to onboarding or a knowledge, as
Mm,
such, AI will play a lot of role in our life
mm,
or organizational life. But limiting my talks to the onboarding or training, you
mm.
know, what is more important is, as such, you will have a lot of information available on the web.
Web.
And why should I have any software or any app that is in AI enabled? That could be one of the thought, but no. I'll tell you what happens when we are talking about building organizational culture, when we are
Mm,
talking about having organizational point of view on a particular matter. It
mm.
is necessary that we record instances that happen in the organization
Correct.
which serve as a guide to everyone who comes in. You know, um, so general material is always available, but when you interpret it for your organization
Correct.
and you have a perspective on a particular, like I would say, for tax laws, there
Mm,
could be some consultant who is aggressive,
mm,
some could be who is conservative.
mm,
Somebody I have seen would say, if I err, I will err only on the government side. I will not err on the customer side.
mm. Yeah.
So everybody has a perspective.
Yeah. It's a
Nothing. There is nothing right or
interpretation.
wrong. There
It's
is
always
nothing right or wrong. Somebody will
interpretation.
say, whatever you do, I will ensure that you are out of the trouble. No,
Mm,
it's everybody's stand and
correct.
organ. Now you need to develop that culture.
Mm,
And if you haven't, if you can't do that with some kind of a, process, then there is a possibility that you will give different signals to different customers.
mm. Again, homogeneity is broken then.
Yes. So that is where the laws are same, but both the lawyers have interpretations differently and they argue for years.
Correct.
So each organization has its own way of looking at
Approach. Mm,
yes, and therefore it is necessary that such a experience, such
mm,
instances are stored.
mm,
And again, it's a different topic as to how do you do that. you
mm.
know it's a process by itself,
Correct.
but yes, this is something that is what helps us with AI. you
Mm,
know in me asking the question and it giving me the answer the way my organization would behave in a particular situation.
correct. Yeah. Yeah. I also think the other part that we were talking about, that when it comes to training, AI can actually help in ensuring that you are able to scale any kind of impact without having to do, repetitive work, which
Oh
has been a
yes,
big
I'll tell
discussion
you, we
point
used to
for us.
have training programs through a training partner, and he reaching out to all offices. Now each office also has few hundred people.
Yeah.
Now it's not very easy for them to travel every time, and not every time all the people can
Be
attend.
available to attend.
So it used to, although we would tick off the box that we conducted a training, but it was still a challenge for us
Yeah.
with this particular small videos coming up and all. Like local office, some HR person runs that and calls people in batches.
Yeah.
The same training is provided to all
Yeah.
and at different time.
Yeah.
We only give a calendar that this has to be completed within this time span, and
Yeah.
they do it as per their. They don't have to necessarily go by our timing. The
Correct.
Chennai office will have a different priorities, and Delhi office will have a different priorities at times. So I can't determine everything from Mumbai. Let them have their own way of looking at in a span of time.
Perfect. Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Sandeep sir, closing thoughts on what do you hope to see as the outcome or impact, not just at a business level, but at a culture level with AI coming in, a better onboarding experience. I think even from a employer branding perspective, it can be a huge thing that, a firm like Kirtane and Pandit is exploring AI. I think it can make a huge difference for even the people you recruit.
Yeah. So there is one more thing I would say.
Hmm.
Uh, Generally, in finance field, if somebody, the audience here is from the finance field, will agree that there is a lot of dearth of talent
Hmm.
in this field, and I don't know why. Maybe because the demand is too high,
Hmm.
so the people are absorbed so fast. The costs have become so high.
Hmm.
Um, the freshers are costing almost 2.5 times they were costing me 5 years back.
Wow,
Oh yeah, fabulous,
huge
fabulous,
bump.
huge. So obviously, training
Hmm.
is because 80% of what we do is the process and
Hmm.
20% is the knowledge.
Correct.
Whereas we try and hire 100% of the knowledge. So it's a waste of 80% of their efforts anyway.
Right.
So if we could segregate the the activity versus knowledge,
Hmm.
it will have a material impact on our talent availability also and delivery also.
Absolutely.
If we are able to make the right use of learning and development
Tools.
initiative,
Hmm. Hmm. Awesome.
that is what even I've seen large international firms do. They recruit people and they send them for a training for a month or two, and
Correct.
they prepare them for the
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, I think IT has led that wave where, freshers get
Yes,
recruited
and therefore,
from.
yes, it is necessary that I use this AI, I use the IT tools
Hmm,
to minimize the cost that I may have incurred on hiring more number of people.
absolutely. Yeah. I think considering that time is again the most precious commodity you guys have, if AI can help you train people faster, AI can help you complete projects faster, you have a
Exactly. And
win-win
this is
situation.
something which is easily available to them while they are on the job also. So, like they don't have to wait. They have nothing of their process is halted because of lack of instruction. That instruction is or that knowledge is available to them on at their,
Mobile
print. I
phone.
mean, the fingertip.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So, thank you so much, Sandeep sir. I think what firms can take away today is how the approach to onboarding needs to change. What should be the focus? Like you said, there is a process aspect and a knowledge aspect. I think one thing about the accounting domain is that ICI ensures that by the time you clear your CA final, your knowledge is
Absolutely.
cared for. But
Yes, yes, absolutely.
process can be identity building for a firm also. It can also help set and deliver on client expectations well. And so onboarding can play a critical part in that, and AI to support doing that at scale.
Yes.
Awesome. I think there has been lots of advice for firms like yours, partners who may be, listening to this, watching this. Small actions, anything just to close off, and then we'll wrap up. Easy steps अगर कुछ suggest करना है.
इसके बारे में
Just to get a better onboarding experience for the company, because what you're saying ki is a time taking process, time लगेगा. First step क्या होना चाहिए?
the first step in my opinion should be, if you have some kind of a questionnaire,
Hmm.
you know we have some 30 or 50 questions,
Hmm.
that we for every person who is being recruited, he is being given that question and options and he answers,
Okay.
like, and that is how we come to know how much he has been told
Hmm.
by the HR, you know
Got it. So that
so
becomes
simple,
the
it's a
zero.
15-20 minute they keep on punching in,
Hmm.
sitting in the lobby.
Hmm.
So right in the beginning they know, हाँ ये करना है, हाँ Kirtane Pandit on a month end they does this, blah blah blah, हाँ, timesheets to be submitted on so and so.
Right.
It's something like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But it at least sets their pathway also clear, gives them
Yes,
a right idea of what they should expect and deliver.
yes. So it's more of a knowledge to them. That's it.
Correct.
Then the orientation starts.
Correct. Awesome. Thank you, Sandeep sir. This has been truly, truly very, very helpful, I think, for all our community. We'll make sure we circulate it within all the people, and then you may be swarmed with questions. I
Sure.
think you will welcome that
Thanks.
too. But thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. This is Buzzbox Live. We'll catch you next time.